War Hospital. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Take charge of a World War I field hospital on the Western Front and make all the decisions necessary to help the soldiers recover and to support the war effort. In this narrative management game, you are the last bastion of humanity. Actually, I was right the first time. I am a bastard. I want to start off by saying that this game is mixed on Steam, and I've had a look through the negative reviews and nearly all of them are citing horrible frame drop issues. 1 frame a second on chapter 2. The game's in 3 chapters. A patch dropped about half an hour ago fixing this issue, and I've tested it and chapter 2 now works fine for me. So this is quite a unique game. You are running a field hospital in World War I, and it's quite addictive. It's very addictive, this game. It's really good fun. Slightly repetitive, but I'm having a blast playing this. Basically, you have to decide who dies and who lives, and who has legs amputated and all the other stuff that was horrible in World War I. There's an active war going on around you. You get to feel that when the Germans attack. In fact, you have a timeline at the top of your screen showing, thanks to your great spy network, what force of Germans is coming to attack. And you have to make sure there are enough able-bodied people on the front line to meet that threat. If not, it's game over, man. Well, I'm assuming it is. I haven't actually not met the threat yet, so I don't know what happens, but it's probably awful and bad. More awful than the awful things that happen in this game that are really awful. So I don't really want that to happen, so I make sure that I push people to the front to see off the Germans. Now, here's how it works. The main area is the operating theatre, the operating table. Now, eventually you will have numerous types of surgeons working in there. You will have your basic surgeons, you will have your chemical surgeons, and you've got trauma surgeons. You have medics that ferry the deceased, the soon to be deceased, not wounded, the wounded Mac to the operating table. They take them from the building, which I forgot the name of, straight into get operated on, providing, of course, that the surgeon is not exhausted. You have to allow for him to have a rest, a bit of R&R to get back to full. You do not want somebody who's like Sleepy Joe working on somebody on an important operation, so you've got to make sure they're actually wide awake. You need nurses in there to, hold the hand and say, yes, you're going to die. Hurry up, because I've got to move on to the next guy. That kind of stuff. And then if they are successful on the operation, you have to take them to the rehabilitation centre, where they will be discharged either for supplies back to HQ, for morale, or back to the front line to give them the old steel. You decide, guys. Now, it's very important, the rehabilitation, because supplies is what it's all about. You need supplies. You need all the different supplies in the operational hut for chemical, for trauma, and for basic injuries. You need bandages. You need all kinds of stuff. So they're the kind of currencies that you have in the game. You also need food for everybody. That's more supplies. You can requisition supplies via the train at the bottom of the screen. It does sound quite complicated, but it isn't. It's very, very easy to pick up on. All the resources are at the bottom. You've just got to keep an eye on them, and there's multiple ways that you can get these. You can send out scouting parties around. They will do missions, and they may be getting lucky and find some supplies. Like I said, you can requisition them on the train, providing you have the supply points to do that. So let's talk about the crux here, the supply points, and the priorities of the actual operations. Every person that is injured has a rank. Now, there might be Belgian, they might be American, they might be British, or they might be Germans, but they will all have a rank. Now, the higher that rank, it's done by the little stripes. You'll see the little stripes on the shoulder. As far as supplies is concerned, each stripe represents some supply, one set of supplies. So if you throw out a rank 3 guy, you'll get 3 supplies for that. Not to be trifled with. You really need them. If you send a rank 3 back to the front line, that guy there is going to kick some bottom on the front line. Unless he has some kind of cowardly trait. I mean, he could be French. So there's another thing. You have to read the bio, especially of the VIPs, to see just, who is he? Has he had a letter from some bushy, mustached general that he plays, that whose daddy plays golf with or something, and says, give this guy a pass, give him priority in the surgery. You've got to look for these things, and you've got to filter these people, the important ones through. Just get rid of all the chavs, let them die. Get the important VIPs through, give them the best treatment, get them into rehabilitation early, and then get them out, and you'll get rewarded with some really tasty rewards. So, just to kind of summarize, the guys come in wounded. They're all different ranks. The higher the rank, if you get them put well, you will get more currency to spend on either stopping the Germans' next attack, reducing the amount of casualties, or buying supplies, or increasing your morale. So it's important to kind of let all the low rankers die, Mac. But you do. Yeah, I eventually, at the beginning I was like, oh, bless you, what you called Jonathan, okay, oh, that's where he's from, oh, in the UK, yeah, yes, we'll get you dealt with. It was all nice to start with, then it just became, let him die, oh, you German, die, Belgian, I've got off Belgian chocolates, you can die, oh, you're worth a bit of money, get him in, you just become a bastard, and that's why I am a bastard in this game. I actually was ranked as kind of a bastard, ruthless. My rank after chapter 1 was absolutely ruthless, but efficient. I'm a ruthless, efficient management of a war hospital. Now, there's more to it than that. You have to buy in more stuff. Well, you don't. Well, you do kind of buy them in with another part of the currency that you get. You have to expand certain buildings so that you can accommodate more medics, more surgeons, more trauma surgeons, more chemical surgeons, more nurses. You have to expand all this. There's a huge perk tree where you can just send your engineers out. That's what the engineers is for, to upgrade everything. Again, it all costs currency. And how do you get currency? You heal people or let people die, because you do not want people dying in the field hospital. No. Because if they die in there, you lose a lot of morale. So you just throw them out. Just throw them out into the gutter. Just say, go and die over there, mate. Just go and shut up as well. Die quietly, will you? You're upsetting the lads. It's a brutal game that shows the futility of war, especially at the time of World War I. It's quite a sad game, really. But it's atmospheric. It's fun. I like it. It's my kind of game. Don't be put off. It's not too hard. It's quite easy to get to know the ropes. There's quite a decent tutorial in it as well, and there's a compendium where you can actually go through and look at what everything means. So there's enough information in the game for you to be able to actually play it okay. It's a long game. It's about 35 hours from the people that I've seen that's finished it. So plenty to get your teeth into. It's also 30% off at the moment on Green Man Gaming. Lots of the bugs have been fixed. It's been balanced a little bit better as well. You just need to bear in mind that it can get very repetitive, because the chapters from what I've seen are very similar except just harder. The gameplay loop is, if it's not for you, then you're not going to like the game, because it pretty much doesn't change all the way through the game. And yes, on the negative side of things, the people, you kind of don't really get attached to them. You don't really care about the bio, like I mentioned earlier. You just chuck them in the gutter when you're finished with them. It's all about how long the operation is, how complicated it is, and how much of a reward I'll get for saving you. So it kind of trips itself up in that respect. When you just have 5 or 6 people waiting for an operation, you don't really care how many kids they've got. If they're not going to be profitable, get rid. And that's a big flaw in the game. But it can be fun. It's quite immersive, and I quite like it.